Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Zappy here, back again with Kuroko in a basket. We are on episode 6 of season 1, and in the last episode we had the aftermath of the Seirin and Kaijo match, and sort of Kisei kind of coming to terms with the fact that that was his first loss, and also his sort of his way of thinking about the whole situation. And he obviously called out Kuroko, and basically talked to him about some stuff regarding Teiko in the past, and Kuroko basically not turning up in a championship match or whatever because he didn't agree with the ideology of how individually based the whole thing was, and it wasn't about teamwork and everything, and it was just win. That was a whole nice scene. I really liked that because I think Kisei, there was a bit of a change in Kisei's sort of mentality there, especially like at the end after they had their match with the thugs and everything like that. You know what I mean? I feel like there was that there, but the the revenge is still on for him. I'm sure he's still going to get that. Coming into a competitive match, but they're going to have to get to the inter-high actual matches if they want to go up against Kaijo, because they are in a different district. But apparently the team that is in the same district as them and will be playing against them in the prelims is the team that Midorima is a part of. So that's going to be interesting. And he's also the number 1 shooter as well. So he's obviously long ranger. Going to be getting 3 points for days, I'd imagine. So yeah, it's going to be cool to see how the likes of Siri and whatnot go up against those. But I don't think we're going to be getting that for at least this episode anyway. I feel like because we're in the aftermath of a match that just happened, I feel like it's going to be practice now before the prelims. But we'll see. I mean, we don't know until we watch it, do we? So let's go and watch it. So yeah, if you do want to go watch the actual reaction highlights, then the link is in the description below. There's also a link to the full length there. If you do want that, then it's the options there for you. So yeah, nothing else to really talk about. We're going to get in episode 6 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 6, and yeah, we've already started it. I wasn't expecting for us to immediately start these actual competitive matches immediately, but I suppose because of how different this whole thing is set up compared to Haikyuu, it's so many more matches and everything like that. And I don't know if that is just specifically because we're in the sort of Tokyo area that there's just that many compared to in Haikyuu it's Miyagi, so it's not it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So I don't know if it's just that, but I mean, looking at the brackets and everything like that, it seems as though you have to win 6 matches just to get to the Championship League, which is just insane. And this is all the fucking prelims. I mean, they were saying there that there's 300 schools just in the prelims alone before you even get to the inter-high, Whereas Haikyuu, it's you have 2 preliminary matches, and then you're into the you're into the qualifiers and everything. So it's a hell of a lot more in this. I mean, the one thing that I'm kind of struggling with in regards to, because the bracket system's easy, right? We all know what a bracket system looks like, but it's this that really threw me off. I'm like, what is going on here? Because it's I don't know what it means. I mean, because obviously, yeah, you'd have we're in A block, right? So I mean, if we won, then yeah, I mean, I don't know what determines that. I guess what this is trying to say is possibly the winner of every block will play each team once, right? And then the top 3 teams go on to the inter-high, right? That's got to be what it is. And I'm guessing this table is to determine that. I guess so. It must be, because yeah, it probably is actually, because the diagonal line, basically all the boxes with the diagonal line in it is basically nothing, because obviously you can't go up against, the A block winner can't go up against itself. You get what I mean? And the B block can't go up against itself. So I guess those boxes are basically just moot. They're not applicable. So I guess that's what it is then. So yeah, the top 3 teams. So that means that the there is no, like, there's basically only one team that doesn't go on from the Championship League into the Inter High then. Because there's only 4, right? There's only 4, there'll only be 4 teams. So, damn. Interesting. Yeah, it's going to be interesting when we get to that, but I don't even know how long away that's going to be. But, yeah. So I basically just talked myself around and actually understood the way that this works now. So yeah, there's only one team out of there that's not going to make it from the Championship League into the Inter High. But I feel like, yeah, I think Kagami was saying this is where we will face off against Shutoko. So yeah, we got the name, and we'll be facing them in the Championship League, I'd imagine, because they'll be in a different block. So, but like they were saying yesterday, the last episode, that they were in like the same district, so therefore they'll play each other in the preliminaries. So yeah, I like they've. That's basically what we were told here. So unless they're in A block, which I doubt, I don't think they are, because Kagami said, yeah, this is where we'll face them in the Championship League if that is the case. But they have to win 6 matches just to get there. So, you know, it's a lot. So yeah, it starts as a tournament. Yeah, so basically it's just as soon as you lose, that's it, you're out. So yeah, I mean, we're not going to lose against Shinkyo, no way, dude. They're so up their own arse, man. You know what I mean? Like, they're so full of themselves, like, just completely underestimating it in like such like the most like the most disgusting way they could have said it as well. Like, because they beat Kaijo, they immediately shut down the Generation of Miracles, but then shut down the team that beat that team. And so they already think that they're above that, you know? Like, when they haven't even played them or anything like that. It's just that, oh god, fucking hell. I love it when, like, people get it shoved back in their face, you know what I mean? Like, they just think it's going to be an easy ride, and then, you know what I mean, they get beat. And it's like, well, it's your own fucking fault. Don't be a dick. You know? And, like, especially the captain of Shinkyo, I think his name's Yusuke, I think. Because it's one thing when they're, like, you know, underestimating their opponent and basically, like, knocking them down with you know, with words. But then it's another thing when Kagami's basically shutting out Odo-san, or Dad, right, by making him miss his shots, right? And then it's basically the first time they start struggling, and he starts giving out excuses, basically saying, no, like, you know what I mean, shut up, there's pressure on the court. It's like, well, don't talk, you know, talk yourself up like it's going to be an easy match, and then as soon as you don't get your own way, you start making excuses. You know what I mean? Like, how fucking... It's ironic, isn't it? Like, you've got the guy from Senegal who's basically talking down to Kuroko, calling him a child, when they're the ones acting childish. So, yeah, I honestly, let's just smash these guys. Let's just smash them. You know, they're very, like, I suppose, well, with the sports being similar in terms of, you know, basketball and volleyball and haiku, like, yeah, like the whole thing about height is a big deal, because, you know, it's about jumping, isn't it? So getting height over your opponent helps. But yeah, that worked out very good, especially like getting a Mitobe involved as well, because he's we've got that information as well. He's like you know, he's got solid defense, you know, and that he basically was teaching Kagami to put him off so that he would miss his shots. And yeah, I said during the reaction as well, I feel like this is going to be something that will, like, crop up in the game against Shutoko, and it'll be something that doesn't affect Midorima, you know? Because I'm just thinking, like, alright, they're the Generation of Miracles, right? So if I'm talking about, like, we're talking about a shooter, a guy who shoots from far away, like, I feel like that's going to be the thing with him. Like, you're going to have to straight up block him, I'd imagine. Like, you know, not just put him off. Because I feel like he's going to be one of those that doesn't get put off by that. You know, like he's able to make it wherever. You know, he's just going to be that kind of player. So yeah, it's something that won't work against those. But we'll see if that ever. If that does end up happening later on, because I'm sure that we're going to get to at least the Championship League and go up against Shotoku. You know, it's going to be a case of who the other teams are. Now, it hasn't specifically pointed out that there are any Generation of Miracles in the district that we're in, that Serene are in. So, with that being said, as of right now, I feel like it's only Midorima that we have to go up against in terms of Generation of Miracles in the preliminaries. So, I feel like, as a prediction, they are going to get to the Inter-High, right? And they already set up the rematch with Kaijo. If you want to face off against them, then you're going to have to go to the Inter-High. I feel like that may be where we end off the season. So, you know, similar to Haikyuu with the Karasuno versus Seijo thing, I feel like it could be like go a similar route where we get to the Inter-High and go up against Kaijo in a competitive match, and Kaijo end up winning it, get their revenge, and that's it. They're out until the next tournament. I feel like that's my prediction. So I think, you know, it could be a case of, because of the way that the tournament system works, specifically in the Championship League anyway, that there are 4 teams, the top 3 go through the Inter-High. That means that you can afford a loss, which makes me believe that could be the game, like against Shotoku, that Serene end up losing. You know, because that's different, isn't it? Like, the Championship League is a different sort of, it's more of like a qualifying group stage as opposed to a tournament style. The tournament style works in the preliminaries heading up to the Championship League, but it seems as though once you get to the Championship League, I think each team plays the other block winners once, and then that's that. Or they could, I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I think that's right. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but that's the way that it feels like it. So yeah, I feel like, as a prediction, we're going to get to the Inter-High, but we're going to lose to Kaijo, I think. That's going to be my prediction. I think when we come up against Shotoku as well, that could be a loss, because they were talking about how they were top 8 last year. So that was before they even had Midorima and they were top 8. So I'd imagine with Midorima, they're going to be pushing up to like top 4. At least, you know, with, I guess, the other teams that have the Generation of Miracles. We didn't really get a number in terms of what Kaijo were, though, did we? We just heard that they were national level. So, you know, so they're probably up there, but I don't know, like, in terms of numbers where they rank. I'll get this out of the way as well. In the reaction, I was like, why are there no third years in the club? I forgot that they're a new school, weren't they? And that's why the second years are the highest. You know, there are no third years in the whole school. It's just second years. So yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, just don't mind me on that. What else? Yeah, they talked about how apparently there are 2 foreign players allowed that you're allowed to bring in, and that's it. That's the max that you can have. You know, and I suppose yeah, it worked out. I mean, it's like they must have went out and scouted him and brought him in, you know, that way. But yeah. So, yeah, I feel like we're not going to really have much trouble with this team. I feel like, you know, bringing it back to Haikyuu again, there's a match that Karasuno play against where they play against a guy who is 2 meters tall, and it's the same sort of thing. Like, you know, he's tall, but he doesn't really have like technique, maybe like down, or it's just that like that's basically like their one thing that they rely on. They rely on the fact that, you know, this Senegal player is incredibly tall, and you know, he's got these long limbs and everything, and that's their strength. But when it comes to everything else, they're not as, you know, they're not as good. So I don't think we'll struggle with them. And yeah, we'll see. I mean, this completely takes away. I mean, well, obviously it hasn't finished yet, but you know, I thought that they would have focused mainly on the like showcasing the matches of characters that we know of, but then yeah, I guess I didn't realize the amount of matches that are going to be going on, you know. So I guess yeah, we're going to be getting like just like you know insight into the matches that they do play. There could be a case of like, well, they go up against a team and you don't get like fully animated games, but it's just going to be like you know like a slideshow, like screenshots prop up of the game, and it's like it'll show you the scoreboard every now and again, and you know if like Siri and like go on you know to win and everything, and you know but yeah. So what else? I think that's pretty much it. I think that's all I really need to talk about. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. So yeah, I feel like we're not going to struggle against Shinkyo all that much. You know, I mean, the one thing that can come into play is Kuroko, right, and his effectiveness. You know, it was the one thing that I forgot to talk about last episode, episode 5, in regards to the fact of like, you know, I said in the pre-discussion for episode 5 that like I feel like that most of it was down to underestimating the opponent and everything like that, but also the fact of Kuroko's effectiveness never really left the court. Apart from the time that he literally left the court, you know, but that was the time when they kind of, it was definitely underestimating because like you know the second year is like you know they came into their own and started up in their game when Kuroko was off the court, but the fact that Kuroko could sort of recharge and then his effectiveness was back at full again, like it allowed them to get that you know to bring it back and get the win because of that there. So it's going to be a thing definitely of in matches to come. If you know the first time they go up against Shotoko, I'd imagine is going to be the time where it's going to be really apparent that Kuroko is of no use for like a certain period of the game because you know his effectiveness is literally run dry. And I wonder if that's going to mean that they're going to have to, like, as a strategy, take him off the court for like a quarter or whatever, and then bring him back in. Because I feel like, you know, like obviously if his effectiveness is run dry, you can't just keep him on the court doing nothing. His whole style of play revolves around his effectiveness to play that way. So if you know, because he can't do anything else. I mean, so you know, meaning that you will have to just end up taking him off. It's just like a you know strategy, change him out for somebody else. You know, but yeah, we'll see. So yeah, if you do want to get access to episode 7 and 8 immediately, you can do by going on my Patreon page, and early access tier gets episode 7 and 8 a week early. You know, basically you can get 2 episodes ahead with early access. So yeah, you can do if you wish. Link is obviously in the description. There's also $10 there for full length. If you don't want to watch any of these in full and not just the 10-minute cut version, then you can do. There's also other tiers there where you can pay to have a show reacted to as well. So you know, go have a look at those and see what they offer. There's also the link to the Discord if you want to get in there as well. But yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.